What's up, ladies and gents? We are the Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. I'm Brad. We are back at it. I've been off for the last couple of weeks because I was losing my voice. I've had some bronchitis issues, and so I've been off the last couple of weeks. So welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome. It's We talk about hockey, everything. I have five favorite teams. I have Detroit, I have San Jose, I have and the Dallas Stars. But I just like talking hockey news. That's what we're going to be doing today. And mind you, I will say I just did 50 minutes with this microphone on mute. So I'm going to go as long as my voice will let me. And as you can already hear, it's starting to go. I got my hot tea. I drank it already. So let's get this thing going. We got a couple things we're gonna knock out today. We're gonna talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins fire sale, and kind of comparing it to the Washington Capitals. If you haven't checked out my video of that before, of retools gone right and retools not gone right. Spoiler alert: the Penguins are not doing it right. Washington is absolutely doing it correctly, but we also talk on the other video, which I'll link at the end. How Minnesota did with the buyouts, Calgary did with their retool, Nashville with their buying of UFAs and everything. But there's certain teams that did better jobs than others, and so we're gonna you can go check that video out at the end. The other thing is we're gonna talk about Detroit and the chaos in the Atlantic Division and kind of what the direction is, what's happening with the Red Wings. Again, I could talk about Red Wings all day, and big fan, but a spoiler alert: they are not making the playoffs, and they're not, and I'll tell you why. I mean, you can jump right to it. And then lastly, we're talking about Winnipeg on that crazy streak, one of the best start in NHL history a team's ever had. And then talking about a little bit about Minnesota and Kaprizov just popping off. And yeah, we'll just talk about a couple of those things. So let's just jump right into it. We're gonna go Pens and fire sale. Again, so I'm just gonna rattle off. They're just not doing as well. I mean, you have a couple guys that are doing well. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's start with a couple guys are doing well. Evgeny Malkin, 18 points in 18 games. Awesome. Crosby, 17 and 18. Rickard Rakell, 11 and 18. Erik Karlsson, 10 and 18. Kind of rough for a guy who had 100 points in a season at one point. But Kyle Dubas, just to give you an idea, Kyle Dubas said that rumors have it that Kyle Dubas is implying that there is a fire sale happening of the team. And so, which is interesting because you can't with a fire sale, you can't sell ash. You can't sell things that are already burned or used up. There's not much here, Kyle. There's not much for you to work with, Kyle. Let's just go over there. I'm gonna go over their Puckpedia page right now. And again, I don't have to preview for you guys. I'll just talk you through it and everything. But Pittsburgh Penguins don't have much to move because they can't. A lot of these guys have no trade clauses, right? And the team just doesn't have they're an old team. I mean, you're not going to move Crosby. So suppose is that everything's for sale except for Crosby. So that's Malkin, Rust, Raquel, Bunting, Kevin Hayes, Bolivier, Carlson, Letang, Graves, Pedersen, everyone's up for sale. Cool. I'm glad that you can sell anything that's not nailed down. The problem is so much of this stuff is nailed down right now. Evgeny Malkin, no movement clause, can't trade him, and his contract goes for the next 2 years. Brian Rust, no movement clause this year, but then after that he has no movement clause. But the problem is, who wants to pick up a contract that is this year and the next 3 years? Rickard Rakell, modified no trade clause for the next 4 years. And the thing is, holding that back Rakell is not only his production, but he's $5 million, not for 1 year, not for 2, not for 3, for 4 years. This year plus 3 years, it is a 4 years left in that contract, which is hard to move. Then you have Michael Bunting. I think they're going to keep him. I think they like him. Kyle Dubas likes this guys, says Steve Dangle. Kevin Hayes, injured and modified no trade clause. Noel Acciari, modified no trade clause. You might be able to get something for Noel Acciari. Erik Karlsson, you have him for this year and 2 years after that, and also no movement clause. So you have to keep him to be able to do that, to be able to do anything with him. And so what's going to happen? You're going to retain on him for the next 3 years? For this year and next 2 years? I don't think so. Chris Letang, this year and the next 3 years, modified no trade clauses. Well, full no move for this year, next year, and the year after. And the last year, when he's 41, he has a 10-team trade list, 10-team approved trade list. So he's saying nope to 31 or 21 other teams. Ryan Graves, bad move, Kyle, by the way. Ryan Graves, 12-team no trade clause for the next basically for the next 2 years, and then last year's is 8-team, 4 years though. He's going to be 33 when this contract ends. The only person you're going to get value out of is Marcus Pettersson at $4 million. You can retain half on him, probably get a second-round pick for him. Maybe a first, a real low-level first. Maybe like Rangers trade for him or something like that. That like Florida or something like that. Like one of those hot team that is a going to a conference finals kind of trade. So, but there's nothing good to sell here. Bolivier, 1 year. What are you going to get for him? Drew O'Connor, playing on the top line, by the way. And like, so the problem is with the Red Wings, the Penguins is you want to sell guys. Great, awesome. Who do you want to sell? What assets do you have? What kindling do you have for this fire sale? And so there's not much to sell here. Like you don't you should have like Kyle. And I don't blame Kyle. I blame, in my opinion, owners and management. Because to me, I think they said, listen, as long as Crosby is a Penguin, you are going to be going for the playoffs, which I understand. I totally get. The problem is what's the plan? Like you go out and make a big move like Erik Karlsson, which I didn't agree with that one. I think what Kyle Dubas should have said to management and said, nope, we're not like when he came in, he said, we're going to sell off assets. We're going to trade. We're going to bring up some of the young guys. Like we're going to trade for the pieces. Look what Boston, look what Washington did. Washington made a ton of great moves, a ton of great trades. And now they're in a pretty good spot. They're looking really pretty. They're in a wild card spot in the Metro right now. And comfortably, they have 21 points right now in 15 games. That is phenomenal. So if I'm going to some of these awesome trades and things that they brought in for people, right? Like and by the way, crazy enough, guess who just picked up an asset from the Pittsburgh Penguins? The Washington Capitals picked up Lars Eller for a 3rd and a 5th round pick, right? And Pittsburgh's probably looking for some roster players, but anyone that wants to sign out a roster player, they want that good roster player for the playoffs. So they're not willing to do that type of thing. So, but like Washington, sent out Nick Jensen, picked up Jacob Chikrin, right? They let's see who else. They picked up Logan Thompson for 2/3, right? They picked up Andrew Mangiapane for a 2nd round pick. They picked up Pierre-Luc Dubois for Darcy Kemper, which hopefully works out, right? They moved. Who else did I'm trying to look at? There's one I'm missing that I really like they did. But here he is. Rasmus. So they trade out Garnet Hathaway and Dmitry Orlov to the Boston Bruins, and if they get a 1st round pick back for that as well. And then in exchange for that, they get Rasmus Sandin for Eric Gustafsson and the 1st round pick. Great, awesome, which worked out because they have Rasmus Sandin. So the Washington Capitals did a really good job of picking up guys that are on contracts that are young. They made moves. Also, you know who else is working out for them really well? Alexei Protas. He signed recently a new contract this past summer, I think it was. He was a 3rd round pick, worked out really well. A guy who they hit on, Connor McMichael. I believe he was a late 1st round pick in 2019. It's working out well now, right? They're putting up points. And if you're looking up what Washington is doing right now, they have Dylan Strome, UFA, 23 points, 15 games. Phenomenal. Ovechkin, 19 and 15. By the way, all these guys are pretty much 15 points at the top. Ovechkin, 19 points. McMichael, 17 points. Protas, 15 points. Those are all 4 guys that are point per game players. 3 of the guys you drafted, by the way, which is you build Stanley Cup contenders through guys you drafted, which is why Pittsburgh won when they won. They're not winning now because they're not getting guys that they drafted. Tom Wilson, 12 points. John Carlson, 11 points. Even Pierre-Luc Dubois, 9 points. Rasmus Sandin, 8 points. He's a defenseman, mind you, right? Still put up half point per game player. That is exactly what you want to see out of these guys. Is you want to see some stability. You have Eric Carlson, 10 points in 18 games is not good enough. Marcus Pettersson, again, good value, 8 points. I think you're going to be able to trade him because he puts up 22 minutes a night, which is great. Lars Eller was their 6th most points, 7 by the way, and he's gone, right? So, I mean, Grizzly 7 points in 18 games, fine, but he's a third pair guy. Like, yes, Steve Puljujärvi, good experiment, 6 point in 15 games, great, but like, you need to take bigger swings at some of these other guys that need to work out, right? Like, you need to be able to send out 2nd round picks, or you need to have your draft picks hit. The problem is that you have guys that are not hitting with Pittsburgh Penguins. A couple guys that this is one of those. I think the Kyle Dubas tried to do this when he traded out Jake Gensel. He tried to get some assets back that could play right now on the team. Michael Bunting is one of them. He's fine. Let me see where he's at. Where's Michael Bunting? 4 points in 17 games. Not good enough, Michael. Not good enough, Michael. You have Vasily Pominarov. He's up and down. He's kind of on the roster. He's 22 years old. Hopefully he works out. Right. You have where's the other guy? I know he's over here. Owen Pickering is one of your draft picks. I think he was a 2022 first round draft pick. He's starting to see some time, which is nice, but I think he's still in the AHL right now. Let's see. AHL, 12 points, 12 games, 1 point. Really working out there. I mean, he's a defenseman, so like great assault here. But like, you need to be better. Like the problem is that the Hextall didn't leave Dubas with much. Like, it's kind of feels like what Ken Holland left Eisman when that happened, right? Except that Eisman had like nothing. He had like Larkin, and then you had like Rasmussen, who should not have gone 9th overall, and you have Veleno, who is a late first round pick. Cool. Like, you have Berggren, who finally is starting to look like he's finally in the NHL consistently. But there's not much left here. I mean, Tristan Jarry is not that great right now. Like, you have Blomqvist, who's looking like he could be your guy of the future, but he's not ready yet. I mean, and Jarry is 12-team no trade clause. So, like, what's the plan? He just signed kind of like last year, I think. Last year, the year before. Like, it's recent. So, what is the plan? Like, what's going to happen? Then again, with Washington, I think they made some really good bets. They went out and they picked up Taylor Radish. They, picked up Mangiapane. They paid a ton for Matt Roy, but they picked him up. Again, they're taking a flyer on Jacob Chikrin, right? Oh, Fedivari. He's a guy that they drafted, I think, in the late first round, I believe, as well. Second round in 2018. He's working out well, okay? Only 3 points, 15 games, but he's defensive. Like, he's a big 6'2", 203 pounds defenseman. Like, this is good. Alexander Alexiev, where's you at? 5 games. Okay, he's again a first round pick in 2018, so he's there. He's a piece on the team at least. Like, where are these guys for Pittsburgh? Like, so I just don't know. I mean, and they're late round picks, right? So they're not all going to work out, but I just don't know. Like, it's not this year. Like, you're not going to get anything for the guys. Like, you might be able to start moving some guys out in later. Like, you might be able to prove again. Brian Rust is one I think you might be able to move because he loses his no trade clause after this season. So after July 1st or whatever the free agency goes, like, then that's when you can probably trade him. But it's still 2028. Oh, no, 2020. Yeah, 2028. So 3 years after this. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. What can they do? Like, what? Like, you need to shed salary, but how do you got to pay for these guys to go off? Like, Michael Bunting, even like you retain half on him. Maybe you get like a 3rd or 4th round pick for him. I don't know. Like, what do you get? Like, what do you get? So I just don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm a little frustrated. But let me know what your thoughts are. Put a comment down there. Let me know. Put your favorite, put a penguin, put a little penguin down there. Okay. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna jump into an ad break real quick. And then we'll jump into Detroit in the Atlantic Division and how screwed they are and how they're not a playoff team. I know I said that earlier. Spoiler alert, they are not a playoff team. Get it out of your head. They are not a playoff team. And then we'll jump into Winnipeg and Minnesota later too in segment 3. So stay tuned after this ad break. All right, segment 2, we are going into talking about Detroit and how screwed they are and what is happening. Because I don't believe you cannot be critical of Eisman. I absolutely believe that, like presidential candidates, like your parents, like you can be critical of people, especially if you don't think they're doing the job that you think that they should be doing. And Eisman had some mess ups, right? Like overall, I'd say the Cop signing I disagree with at the start was a mess up, right? I can't believe that Winnipeg got a first round pick for him when they traded him to the Rangers. Sherratt, I knew someone would pay a lot of money for Sherratt. Didn't they with the Red Wings? Didn't like it when they did that. So then we have Comfort. Comfort was fine. Again, fine. He was there. Like he was fine. I didn't love it. But he's there, right? So Petrie looked like a good bet. It was all with all retained and everything. It looked like a good bet. It's okay. Justin Hall is starting to pan out a little bit, but he's not worth the money still. but he's starting to pan out a little bit. He has the best plus minus on the team with 2, by the way, just to give you some crazy stats there. But like Tarasenko's, I mean, and Talbot is looking like a monster. We'll talk about Talbot soon. But a lot of these guys are not performing as they should be, right? Raymond is looking phenomenal, 14 points, 15 games. And most of these guys have 15 games-ish, 14, 15 games. We're looking at DeBrincat has 13 points. Larkin, 12, needs to produce more. You need Larkin to produce more. He's at like a 65-point pace right now. He needs to be higher. Kane is at 10 points, 15 games. He needs to produce better. Sider, half point per game, 8 and 15. So like that's fine. Kopp, again, I don't expect a ton from Kopp. So I guess 7 and 15 is okay. I'd like to produce a little bit more, but this is much better than we've seen. Because he was asked a more defensive role last year. You get 21 minutes out of Simon Edvinsson, which is looking phenomenal. By the way, Sider's put up 24 minutes a night. That's great. Edvinsson even has 6 points in 15 games as a first official year in the NHL. That's phenomenal. But like Comfer, 5 and 14. Like Vladimir Tarasenko, a known goal scorer, 4 points, 14 games. What are you doing? I mean, production. I mean, Jonathan Berggren only has 2 points, 15 games, right? What's happening? Eric Gustafsson, the replacement for Shane Gostisbehere, 2 points in 11 games. Your job is to score goals. Like your job. It's your job. So I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what's going to happen. And I thought Brad Crisco of the Wing Up Podcast did a great job because I don't know what's the shakeup that you need to see happen here. Because to me, you're running out of bullets. And so what you're seeing is that some guys are being waived. You're seeing guys that are like, you only have a certain, like, eventually you got to fire the coach basically. So, but a couple stages before that, you do some bigger things, right? So like one thing is you sit a guy that who just came in, who is like just brought in. Gustafsson, you end up a guy who's not performing well. You say, Gustafsson, we're sitting you, and he's sat 4 games already. Yeah, 4 games already. So like, because he hasn't performing. Well, that's a little bit of a shakeup. That's a little roster shakeup, right? And then you're like, okay, well, like let's waive a guy. Oh, so you waive Justin Hall, who didn't end up going. I mean, he went down for 1 game, but like. Overall, Justin Hall has played well. That was a good shakeup. That was a proper shakeup because it got the guy to start to work a little harder, and it's working out for the team. And then you're like, well, we got another shakeup. What happens? You waive Billy Husso, the goalie of last year. You waive him. What are we doing? And it was Reimer. It was you had Reimer and you had Husso. You had Reimer. Husso was being your lead. Got injured, right? Reimer was going to be your backup, and then Lyon comes out of nowhere, plays very well. Stands on his head in comparison to what he's getting paid, honestly. So you waive Husso. Okay, well, that's what are you gonna do? Like he came up for emergency conditions, played 2 games. He's not looked good. He does not look good at all. And so you have now you have some space. Bring some young guys up. Okay. Well, you brought Berggren up because you had to. You brought up Johansson because you had to, because they were no longer waiver eligible. And so, and the reason I'm ranting on all this is because the Red Wings are currently 7th in the division. They're 15 points. And the only one behind them is Montreal with 12. But above them is 17 points, Buffalo, 17 points, Ottawa, 17 points, Tampa Bay. Boston Bruins are 18. So like, you're not like, you're on the same points percentage as Boston, who's 3rd right now. But like, I don't have any faith that you're going to be able to keep this up. Like, I don't have faith. I just don't, because to me, they're not a playoff team. They're not built to. You're telling me, like, let me finish my other thought. You're looking at some of these guys that's happening. Sorry, pause for coughing fit. But yeah, Detroit, like, you're a team full of third, 4th liners and 3rd pair guys. By the way, I'm flabbergasted with how good the first line of DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond looks. That is a good line. They need to produce more right now, but they're the only ones producing. So they're the three. They have the third most, the top 3 points of all the players right are on the team. So we need more production out of like a second line. But like, and then the first pair, Cider and Edvinson is chef's fucking kiss, cherry on top, Sunday dinner, Sunday banana boat split. I don't even like bananas, but you're into like the full zhuzh. It is peak top titty pair. I love it. And so I'm huge fan of that. Everyone else is a third pair guy or a third or fourth line guy besides Kane, I would say. I mean, it's so much that even Tarasenko right now is playing on the third line. So we're looking at right now. I have DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond. Great, awesome. Comfer, Kane. Comfer on a Stanley Cup team is a third line center. He's a fine. To be a playoff team, I think you need better than Comfer. Comfer's good. He's not. He is a third line center. I think when Casper was working out, I think he is bumped down to the wing on the third line. Danielson then taking his spot. Kopp is not a second line winger anymore. He's a third line center. And he's defensively responsible. He's kind of had mid recently. But he's doing okay. He's doing okay right now. I think, where's he at right now? Where's Kopp? 7 points, 15 games. Again, he's playing okay right now. He's a little redemption. You're not saved. You're not a $5.6 million forward. You're not saved yet. I need more. I need 50 to 60 points out of this kid. Because he's 30. I'm 34. Casper, you have Berggren, Casper, Tarasenko. I like that line. You got an old guy and 2 young kids, right? I like that. I think it's good. Berggren has produced at the AHL level. He has a connection with Casper when they were producing down there. And Tarasenko's an old guy who knows how to score and shoot and everything, which I think Berggren is more of a pass first guy anyways. So is Casper, but Casper can shoot. So can Berggren. And I think Tarasenko, they can learn that. And by the way, I have seen Tarasenko talk to Casper a lot, which I love that. I love that mentorship that they're doing there. I think that's huge. And I'm a big fan of that. So Rasmussen, Veleno, Fisher, fourth line, they're fine. They get the job done. And then you have Mott as your extra. He's a fighter. So he's been injured there recently. Evans and Cider, phenomenal. Love it. Keep it. Don't touch it. It's perfect. It's one of the best. It's one of the top pairs in the league. It actually is shown as the highest. They're against the highest amount of competition. They're going against the Crosbys, the McDavids, the Point, the Kucherovs. Like, they're going against the guys that are heavy freaking hitters. So, which I love that. And by the way, Cider's 23 and Evanson's 21. They're already going against the heaviest competition. They're going to be the best pair in the. These guys are going to have Norris candidates. Like, they're going to be so good, dude. They're going to be so good, dude. They have Sherratt, who is fine. He's there. He's not worth $4.75 million. He is to me, overpaid third pair guy. Petrie, a more offensive guy. You expect more out of him, but he's 36. He's older. He looked like a good bet when they traded for him. He wanted to come home. I get it. He's not looking good. He's a third pair guy. Gustafsson is a power play merchant. He is supposed to take over the spot of Shane Gosper, Shane Gosper was not good defensively for a defensive team, by the way, which is why you strap like Justin Hall into him or something, or like Ole Mata, a defensive defenseman. But Gustafsson is a power play guy. He's a third pair guy. And you strap a defensive guy next to him. He's not performing. He's not performing well. He's got 2 points in 11 games. He's not performing. Johansson is that defensive guy. He's new. It's his first year. He looks fine. He looks okay. And then Justin Hall is a spare. Justin Hall can swap in for Gustafsson, or Johansson can play left or right side, which is nice. Hall swaps in for the right side. He's a right-handed D. And he's looked better. He's not worth $3.4 million right now. But Justin Hall has looked better. But again, a third pair guy. So you're you have no second line. You have no real second line besides person is Kane. But basically, he's a power play guy mostly. So you can honestly play Kane on the third line and just play him mostly power play, which would be fine. I'd be totally okay with. So we went through all these bullets of like what can happen. You sit a guy who you just signed, Gustafson. Well, you use that bullet now. You waive a guy. You waive Justin Hall, and you waived Husso. Okay, well, that's a shakeup. These are shakeups that are happening in the roster. The guys, hey man, no one is so special that you can't be waived and you can't be sent down or you can't be sat in the press box. Then they're like, okay, well, shake it up again. Bring up young guys, right? Berggren and Johansson are now up because they had to be. But you bring up a guy like Casper. He's got a spot in the team, right? So the next thing is you got to make a trade. They make a trade. They trade out Olimata. He's gone. Another shakeup here. You didn't get another shakeup here. We'll move you. We will move you. We will trade you. And the thing is, they bring a trade to bring someone in. I mean, the only guy you're really gonna be able to trade that has any value that isn't strapped to is maybe Berggren because he's got 1 year left. So maybe you send him and like a second round pick for someone. I don't know. Like, but are they? They're not in a position to go try and do it for a 1 year deal. Like they need someone who has some term or who's going to be here a long time. I don't know, like because you're not moving Schrott, Petrie, you're not moving Gustafson, you're not moving Tarasenko, you're not moving any of your fourth line guys. The only one with any value is probably Berggren, and he's not performing well enough to do that. And one of the last bullets you have, and again, he's in his last year of his contract, but is firing the coach, and I don't think it's Alone's fault because Yzerman has not built a playoff team because that was not the plan. The plan was not to be a playoff team. I think he expected them to be better than this, but they're not supposed to be a playoff team. They're just and with a Atlantic division with Florida, Toronto, Boston, Tampa, and guys who are coming out of the rebuilds, like at the same time as you, Ottawa, Buffalo, Montreal Canadiens, who are going to be a problem in the future for the Red Wings. The old guys aren't going away, and the new ones are just starting to get in your face. I mean, Tampa Bay, they let Stamkos go and brought in Gensel. They're trying to shake it up. Boston, they brought in Zadorov and they brought in Lindholm. Lindholm's not working out. Zadorov's more of a third pair guy, but it's fine. Toronto's looking good. Florida's looking Florida, right? You know? So I don't know what the solution is. I mean, the AHL guys aren't like Danielson looks good. He's not ready yet. Lombardi looks good. He's not ready yet. Bouillon, first year NHL. First full year in NHL, not ready yet. Mazur looks good. Not ready yet. Like, these guys aren't ready to make the team. And like, and the Wing People podcast does such a good job. They like, and you have these old guys that are making mistakes, and he like say, I'd rather have young guys make mistakes and learn from them, and have old guys make the same mistakes, and they can't learn from them, right? Because they're solidified. They're already the players that they are. Like, but by bringing the young guys, they can continue to learn and grow, which is why you get a lot of value from bringing from having like Edvinsson and everything here. So I don't know. It's just it's frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for Detroit, because what are you gonna like? I mean, they have a game tonight. They have a game starting in like 5 minutes against the Ducks tonight, I believe. It's like, what's gonna happen? Like, what more can they do? Again, that's kind of like, I'm like, okay, well, like, what's the next step? And I just don't think that they have a next step available. I don't think they're ready to do anything. I don't think they're going to as against Anaheim, they're not going to, like, they don't have a good enough step. They need it from within, and that's the biggest issue, is that they need it from within. They need guys from within to step up and really take this by the reins. The first line is doing a great job. First pair doing a great job. We need more depth. And mind you, the one other thing I wanted to talk about with the Red Wings is looking at how many guys, because Ken Holland didn't leave him with much. They left him with Joe Veleno, Rasmussen, and Berggren. That's based in Larkin. And and Larkin. So that's what you got from the Ken Holland era. You have a first line center, a fourth line winger, third or fourth line center, fourth line winger. So you got one star out of there, Larkin, who he did it. They did a good job there. They did a really good job there. So this is who Yzerman has drafted and nailed it, by the way, in my opinion. Nailed it, or they at least they're made the NHL. Raymond nailed it, first round pick, did a great job there. Casper, it's looking like it's panning out really well. Looks like he did a really good job there. Sider, Evanson nailed both those. Those are looking really good. And Johansson, who is a first year defensive second round pick. They had Soderblom, who was looking okay when the team was shit, but he's kind of just been kind of like he's not been doing that great in the AHL, and he's not looking like he's probably going to make the NHL either. So, I mean, they have guys coming up, but they're not there yet. They're not ready for it. They're just not ready for it. So, what do you do? Like you have Costa's going to come up eventually. You have Augustin's going to come up, but Buyam's not ready. Tuomisto's not ready. Danielson, Hannes, Mazer, Vero, Wallinder, they're not ready. These guys aren't ready. So Lombardi not ready. Rivslovsky not ready yet. So like I'm excited. I think there's a lot of good guys. I mean, Sandy Pellica's going to look great, but he's going to finish the SHL this year. The next year he'll be in the AHL, and then maybe the year after that he makes the NHL roster, right? Brandon Nygaard looks like he might have been able to make the NHL roster, but like that would have been sick. But honestly, he's probably going to do a year. He'll probably do a year in the SHL. He might make it next year, right? Maybe, but he probably does a little bit in the AHL and then comes up before the end of the year. Emmett Finney, I don't think he's ready. I mean, what's this? How big is he? Emmett Finney is 6'1", 190 pounds. So probably could put a few more pounds on, but 6'1" is a good size as a center. But he's probably not ready. He'll need a year in the SA or in the he's in WHL right now. He'll probably need a year in the AHL. And then he'll probably need to do a year or two in the AHL. Right now, dude, this kid's but a 7th round pick, by the way. This is a great Yzerman. This is the shit you need. I'm fired up again. So Zetterberg and Datsuk were 7th round picks. Zetterberg was a 6th round pick. Datsuk was a 7th round pick. This is the shit that you need. I'm so glad I'm mad again because I just got fucking fired up. So in 2022-23, so this guy was drafted 22-23. So Yzerman's like, this kid, 7th round pick again. This is the year the kid was drafted. He had 35 points, 64 games. Pops off 59 points in 62 games. Almost point per game player right now. This guy's now the captain of his WHL team. And has 27 points in 17 games. Phenomenal. That's exactly what you want to see again. He's WHL. He's an overager. In this case, he's a fourth year WHL kid, but still, like, that's exactly what you want to see. You want whatever league. He's a 4th year, but he's 19. Like, he's playing against young kids, but he's also like really showing up. He's doing a really great job in the WHL. So this is exactly what you want to see. This fires me up, guys like this. This is what you need. And Yzerman has not done a good job with drafting. He is. These guys are taking too damn long. And I'm okay. Leave guys in there that need to, but like you need to hit on some of these guys. Like you have a guy in the NCAA, like Stang, 2020 draft pick, 4th round, still there. Like Albert Anton Johansson, 2022, still waiting on him. Right? Like Coin, 6th round pick, 2020, still waiting on him. Like there's 2 Dower Nielsen's, right? One was in the 3rd round in 2023, one was in the 5th round in 2021. What is happening with this kid? Like in 2021, like I know it's a fifth round pick, but like, I mean, in the Allsvenskan, which is in America you have NHL, AHL. In Sweden you have the SHL and you have the Allsvenskan. Just a lower league, 16 points in 18 games. I like that. That is a great production. But you're also not young anymore. Like he kid's not young anymore. He doesn't have a contract yet. He's 21 right now. Okay. Like I need these guys to hit. When are these kids gonna hit? Keenan Draper. It's Draper's kid. Seventh round pick again, mind you. It's so there's some he's captain of or no, he's not. That's Red Savage. But University of Michigan, Keenan's put up 2 points in 9 games. I need more. I need more out of these kids. And I'm a little frustrated that where's the one that's going to state? Red Savage. Here we go. Red Savage, captain of Michigan State hockey. I love that. He's 21 years old, 5'11", 185 pounds, 4 points in 8 games. I just need more. I need more. I need you guys to do more. I need you guys to be better. I need Irishman to hit on some of these guys. And I'm a little mad at the pro scouts of the Red Wings. I'm a little mad at the amateur. Like, they did nail first round picks, which is like half the requirement is you have to like nail your first round picks, which to me like doesn't feel that hard. I'm speaking completely out of ignorance. It doesn't feel as hard as it should because you're the first round picks. Kind of know a lot about these guys, like so you should be able to hit on these guys. I think it's like 10% of like first rounders like play 100 games. Like it's very rare. Or 10% of first rounders play over 100 games. So it is rare, but like it's like you should be able to nail a first round pick. Like you're pretty aware of these guys. These are guys that are the best in the world at that age level. So like it shouldn't be as hard. I mean, again, I'm speaking on my ass right now. But to me, I'm frustrated. I just don't know what the plan is. And again, you're in a division with Sabres who have so many first round picks that are, and they have a lot of young players. They're going to be good. They're coming up together. Ottawa just traded for a Vezina goaltender this past season in Ullmark, right? You have Tampa Bay Lightning who has Vasilevsky and has multiple Stanley Cups. Boston Bruins who are a pain in the ass and will not go away. Toronto Maple Leafs, great players, great forwards. Defense is fine. Goaltending's looking like it's picking up better. They're 22 points in 18 games. That's phenomenal. Florida Panthers, former Stanley Cup winners, like, and we're not even talking about the Metro, who every team is either tied or above you besides the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the only one that's tied with you is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Do you want to be compared to the Pittsburgh Penguins right now? I don't think so. So Detroit, if you're a fan of Detroit or you're watching, let me know. Put it down there. Like, enthrall me with your amazing moves. I think they trade for someone like Rasmus Anderson. I could see something like that who is a good defenseman, long-term fix. You said on a first-round pick and Berggren. Give back a 4th-round pick and Rasmus Anderson. I think that would make more sense. That makes a ton of sense to me. Depending on, and put it as top 10 protected, I'd say. That's me because Rasmus Anderson's a little bit older. Not older, but you're getting him for this year and you're getting him for the following year. So that's kind of why I'm saying you take up Berggren. Take out Berggren. No, we got to trade. Let's do a quick trade. So we'll do you get him retained. No, you can't retain him. Probably they don't want to retain him. You send out Gustafson in this case. No, again, you don't pick up Rasmus Anderson this year. It doesn't make sense. You wait for Petrie to go because you don't want to trade Johansson yet. He's too young. He is expendable though, so that is an option to be able to trade him out. But then you can move Petrie down to the 3rd pair. But you either trade out Johansson or a Berggren or both. I don't really care. Take both of them, and then a 1st-round pick. Take Rasmus Anderson back on like a 4th-round pick, whatever. And then you can bring up, let's say Mazer or Hannes as someone they can fill in, or like Watson, like you can fill in a guy. But I think that's an option there. That's the big trade. That's one that would shake up the roster a little bit more too. So, but let me know what your thoughts are. Put a comment down there and let me know what your thoughts are on what the Red Wings should do and everything. So, I want to take a quick break for our sponsored ad real quick, and we'll jump back in and talk about Winnipeg and Minnesota, and we'll wrap this episode up. Oh, all right. We're going to our last part that I want to talk about, and this is a quick touch base on this one. It is what is happening with the Winnipeg Jets, 15-2. I mean, that is a phenomenal. Best or best start to a team ever. I believe they've lost. They just lost yesterday to Tampa. And then before they lost, back on the 28th of October. They lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-4, but overall, like, these guys are killing it. They're doing so phenomenal. I mean, they basically made the playoffs. I mean, they almost guaranteed. They're probably damn near almost won the Central at this point because of how good they've been doing. You have guys that are just performers. They're just playing well. Kyle Connor, again, this is most of the guys in 17 games they played. 22 points for Connor. Scheifele, 21 points. Ehlers, 20 points. Pionk, 17 points. Morrissey, defenseman. Oh, you have defenseman Neil Pionk and Josh Morrissey put up a point per game players. That is phenomenal. Then you have like Gabe Velarde, 14 points. Cole Perfetti taking on a prominent role as a young guy over here. 13 points in 17 games. Vladislav Nemestikov. Goodness gracious, I can't wait to be done being sick. 12 points for them. Same with Lowry. Same with Nino Niederreiter. Like, guys are just putting up points. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 double-digit guys, and you're 17 games in. Like, with 10 points or more. And that's phenomenal. I mean, don't even get me started on what is the goaltending? I mean, you have Eric Comrie, right? They had Kakinen. I think they picked him up, but they sent him down the AHL. They have Eric Comrie. I mean, he has four goals or 4 games played, and he has 3 wins. So he's one of the losses. Hellebuyck is the one other loss. He has 12 wins in 13 games, a 1.92 goals against average, lead under 2 goals a game in 13 games. It's phenomenal. And a .934 save percentage, I believe. Besides Freddie Anderson, he is a top in the league. By the way, Talbot, is doing phenomenal for Red Wings. Great signing by Irishman in that one. And Lyon doing very well as well. But not as good as Connor Hellebuyck, who again is second in save percentages and first in goals against. I mean, that's awesome. I'd love to see that. I by the way, I admit this on shorts all the time that I'm a Winnipeg hater. I don't know what it is about Winnipeg. I don't like the way they're building. I didn't like some of the signings. I didn't like the Scheifele signing. I like Connor Hellebuyck. I like Kyle Connor. I like my Connors. And I just don't believe in what I didn't believe when they were doing. I didn't think, but maybe it's just me and my ignorance because they're so far away and there's not a highly covered team. They're considered a small market team. But to me, like, I just didn't get it. I just don't understand it. I was like, I just don't want to see what their vision is. And when they signed Hellebuyck and Scheifele, I was like, I get the Hellebuyck one, but like, to me, like, you signed them to the same deal. It was very, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and in St. Louis. Minnesota did the same thing with Ryan Suter and Zach Parise. Same length, same amount. Like, they did the same thing. I think Hellebuyck took a discount and Scheifele got a pay raise. I think Scheifele wasn't worth that much, and it is working out now. I'm a hater though. I'm a Scheifele hater. I did not like Scheifele. I still don't like Scheifele. But 21 points, 17 games. He's put it out. He's doing really well. He's doing very, very well, dude. Good for them, dude. That is phenomenal. I don't think there's a couple guys with plus minuses in the negative, but I was like, oh, dude, what if they had no one? That'd be crazy. But anyways, I think Winnipeg, I think it's exciting. It's exciting for them. I think it's exciting for a small market team. I think people need to get excited about Winnipeg because they're going to probably win the Central. Let's be honest. In the division standings, if we're looking at it right now, we're looking at the wild card standings. I mean, of course, they're top in the league right now. But behind them, they have 25 points is Minnesota, who's doing what's happening in the Central. So you have like the who's who in Minnesota and Winnipeg. That drops down to 20 points for the Dallas Stars. Like, Dallas Stars you're supposed to be a Stanley Cup contender. Like, what is happening? But I mean, Winnipeg is just so exciting. And then Minnesota, again, I want to pop off on them and just kind of talk about them. Do you know who is doing such a phenomenal job in Minnesota? Almost doubling the second most points. So Kirill Kaprizov, 30 points in 16 games. crazy. And again, almost in half, 17 points is Matt Boldy was in the same amount of games. That is crazy. They are keeping this guy afloat. I mean, Gustafson is playing very well. He's got a 2.08 in goaltending, by the way. Gustafson has got a 2.08 goals against per game, and his save percentage is 0.924. Phenomenal. I mean, I think he's sixth in the league right now. I mean, this is great. I think Kirill Kaprizov is going to get so paid, and there's talks. I'm not saying I actually don't disagree. I was listening to Empty Netters today, and they talking about it, and they said, Draisaitl is probably not worth 14. If so, he's will be the highest paid person right now. It's Matthews with 13.25. Then next year it'll be Draisaitl with $14 million. He just signed an $8 million 8-year deal for $14 million a year, and it's arguable that what they're going to have to pay Kaprizov in the Minnesota Wild is because they already paid him like $9 million. They said like a $9 million, I think 4 years, I think it was the first set. I think it was a 4-year, 5-year deal, $9 million a piece. Do you know when the the big buyouts come off the year for Minnesota? Minnesota did a huge buyout. They bought out Zach Parise and they bought out Ryan Suter. And those cap penalties come up at the end of this year. So right now they have $14.7 million. And then after this, it drops down to 1.6. So they're gaining without any salary. If the salary cap doesn't go up, they're gaining about $13 million in cap space. And then let's say the salary cap goes up another, make it easy, $5 million. That's $18 million in cap space just alone they're getting next year. So Kirill Kaprizov could easily get $14 million a year because he's put up almost 2 points a game. And he has produced. He's in his first year, he put up 108 points. Then it was 75 points in 67 games. Because he hurt 90 and he got hurt 96 points in 75 games, and now he's doing even better pace than any of those years. And I could absolutely see him getting something. He can ask for that because who else is going to get the money? Who else is going to give it to? This guy is if you lose Kaprizov, you're not a team anymore. You're done. You lose 30 points like that. 30 points gone. Already in 16 games. I don't know if I would give him 14. But he's gonna get an 8-year contract. He's 27 right now. And he'll be 29 when he's a UFA. So he's gonna get an 8-year contract if it's still available. So I absolutely believe that he can get $14 million. That is absolutely a pace that he could get, something that he can get. But let me know what your thoughts are, because it's just something crazy that just came up, and I was like, man, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But the cap is going up. His value in Minnesota is at a sky high, and I think it's worth it to be able to give someone like him who is doing so well that much money. So, but anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe. Appreciate you jumping in and hanging out with me. We're back, baby. And so we're gonna do a ton of content over the the end of the year. I want to do 45 days of content. So I'm gonna be every day put out a podcast and just get this thing going. So anyways, hit like, subscribe, and leave your little fingers, put a little comment down there, put 9, talk to each other, say hi, check out my other videos. I have a great time doing this, and I'm gonna keep doing it, but stay classy, folks. Love you.